Okay,
You're on.
Scott, Lisa, great to see you guys again. After the event last week, after I left, did you guys make any more contacts when you were there?
No, maybe about two. There were about two contacts.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good event. I really enjoyed it. So before we get started here, naturally you're going to want to know a little bit more about me and the firm that I work for. I'm licensed in New York, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. You may wonder, why New York and Massachusetts? I have family in New York and Massachusetts, so naturally I want to be able to help them like my clients in New Jersey. What I want to tell you a little bit about is the firm that I work for. It's called the Greater New Jersey Financial Group. And Greater New Jersey Financial Group is part of Prudential. You've heard of Prudential, right? Yeah, everybody's heard of Prudential.
Yeah.
So Prudential, everybody knows Prudential for, mainly for insurance. And Prudential does a great job with insurance, but that's not all they do. Prudential is also does some other things that can really benefit our clients. You take a look here. Prudential is the 10th largest company in the world for assets under management. So if you're talking about people's wealth management or savings for retirements, Prudential does that with the big boys. We're up there with BlackRock, with Fidelity, with JP Morgan, and with Goldman Sachs. So we're right there doing that with them. So we do the insurance piece really well. We do the assets under management piece really well. The other thing that we do is we manage the largest corporate and government pension systems in the country. If you look here, 23 of the 25 largest corporate pensions are managed by Prudential, and 19 of the largest 25 public pensions are managed by Prudential. So we do the insurance piece great, we do the assets under management piece great, and we do the corporate and governmental pension systems great. So we are a very diversified company. And actually, my favorite fact, well, maybe not my favorite fact, but one of my favorite facts about Prudential is that the three largest holders of real estate in the world are the U.S. government, the Catholic Church, and Prudential. Now, I say that not just to give Prudential a pat on the back, but to let you know it is an extremely sound financial company. They're going to be here. So that's why that's important to my clients. What I'd like to do a little bit now is tell you a little bit about how I work with my clients, how the process that we go through. Essentially, it's a 6-step process. First thing we do is we establish your goals. Where do you want to be in 10 years, and 15 years, and 20 years? Where do you want to be in terms of your financial life? And it's not just the good stuff, although the good stuff is what we like to talk about, but also what is keeping you up nights? We like to know about that as well, so we can address those needs. Next thing we do is we want to understand your situation. What are you doing now to achieve these goals? What pieces do you have in place to help you get there? When we gather this information, I bring this back, and we benefit from knowledgeable analysis from all of the experts at the firm. I will be your point of contact for Prudential, but I am not your only Prudential resource. I've got all of Prudential to draw on there. So if there's a particular thing that you are interested in that I don't know well enough, I have people that I can go to and get that information. What we do then is, if it's appropriate, after I gather that information and bring it back for the analysis, if it's appropriate, we'll produce a report that is really nicely graphic. It's plain language, it's really easy to understand, and it's a way for you to assess how your plan is working and if there are any gaps, and then maybe we can address those gaps. After I bring that back to you, we review it, we analyze it, we take a look at it to see what you think, and then we either implement the recommendations or we don't. And this is not an all or nothing thing either. We can take a look at the recommendations, see if any of them fit. So we can do all of them, we can do some of them, we can do none of them, and that's your decision. It's all up to you. If we choose to implement those recommendations, subsequently we come to what is, to my mind, the most important part of the whole process. And that is, in 6 months or so, whenever we decide we're going to get back together again, we take a look at how the plan is working, if it's still meeting your needs, but also have your life circumstances change, because as life circumstances change, maybe your financial plan should be adjusted too. And maybe the market's done some things that where it would indicate we should make some adjustments. So that's what that whole process is. It's cyclical. We go through it over and over to make sure that your plans are working the way they should for you. How does that sound to you guys?
Pretty good.
You like that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know I'm going on and on here. Sorry about that. I'd like to be a little more interactive, but you know, this portion of today's presentation is me talking, but in a minute we'll get to you guys talking. When we talk about building a financial plan for somebody, we talk about the four cornerstones of financial planning. Basically, these are the cornerstones of a financial home. And pretty much every aspect of someone's financial life could be encompassed in these four cornerstones. The idea is to build a really good foundation for your financial life so that you have a strong house, and we know those financial storms are coming. We want to make sure your financial house will weather those storms well. Now, when people are talking about their financial lives together, their lives are mainly focused on future concerns. And one of the first of those future concerns is retirement for most people. That's the thing they're thinking about when they think about the future. So in retirement, the way most people have been through their lives is they figured out how to accumulate. They figured out how to get up this mountain. But then when they get to the point where it's now time to switch from accumulation to distribution, a lot of folks don't know how to turn that into an income stream that they can't outlive. So that's an important concern for a lot of people. The second thing people are concerned about, and I didn't think this was true for everybody, but it really kind of is education. Unless you don't have children, then it's not an issue. But if you have children, it's an issue. And you have grandchildren. If you're like me, if you have grandchildren, you're concerned about their education. Because education is one of those things that it's growing faster than inflation significantly. So that if you're going to save for someone's education, you really need to get a good return on your investments. That's another concern that people have. Another concern that people have for the future naturally is when they think about savings. And when they talk about savings, it's where is it? How is it? How is it? When I say how is it, I mean, is it locked up? Is it in something that you can't have access to? Is there money that you do have access to? And if you're going to have access to it, how much should you have that you can readily get? Everybody needs to have an emergency fund. And how much should that be? You know, should it be 3 months? Should it be 6 months? Just in case your income streams get interrupted, you want to be able to put your hand on something so that your lifestyle can stay, or so that your bills can get paid and your lifestyle can stay not too adjusted. Third thing that people are, excuse me, the fourth thing that people are concerned about, the next thing that people are concerned about is protection. Protection is the insurance side of my financial planning business. Protection has everything to do with setting up a plan so that if you're not around, those things that you are concerned about will be able to self-complete. So if you want to fund that education, you want to be able to do that even if you're not around. If one of you is gone, it'll pay the mortgage so that your family doesn't have to move. You know, they can still make they can make all the decisions as if financially you were still there. So that's a really important part of the practice as well. The next thing that people are really concerned about when they're talking about future concerns is estate planning. And when we talk about estate planning, what we're really talking about is the proper titling of things, that ownership is clear, that things are set up in the way that when they pass to the next generation, they will suffer the least tax erosion when they go through. So that's an important thing for a lot of people to think about in the future. Another thing that people are concerned about is cash flow. And this is a future concern, but it's really kind of a today concern as well. How's the money coming in? How is it going out? Is it being used in the most efficient way that you can in terms of taxes? And are there economies that are available that maybe could free up some money? And last but not least is our taxes. We're all concerned with taxes. We all hate them. But when we're talking about taxes here, when we're talking about the future, there are ways you can pay your taxes now, or you can, with investments, pay your taxes later, or maybe not pay any taxes at all if things are structured correctly. So how does that sound to you guys?
Sounds good. It's a lot of information.
It is a lot of information. I know I'm kind of inundating you. Sorry about that. Now, what I want to do with the rest of this meeting is sort of get to know you guys a little bit better. So if you're open to it, I'd like to be asking you some questions about your finances and the things you have in place. But before we do that, I want to let you know that these meetings generally end one of three ways. The first way is, based on the way I answer your questions, you're going to decide we're not a good fit and that we're not going to work together. The second way is, based on the way you answer my questions, I'll take a look at your circumstance, we'll all look at your circumstance, and we'll say, you know what, anything we could do would just muddy the waters. And the third way that these meetings end is that we recognize that there's value in the process and that there's room for growth. I just want you to feel comfortable and know that it's okay for us to say no to each other. Does that sound fair?
Mhm.